Hi guys, my name is Michelle and I create hair, makeup and lifestyle content here on YouTube. Today I'm showing you this Durga Puja Oshtomi look wearing a lalpar shari. Bangali beauty and makeup is about simplicity, elegance, it's classic and it's timeless. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep watching. As always, I'm going to start by moisturizing my face, and I'm using the Just Herbs Plump Up Moisturizer and clean fingers. I'm going in with my Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is the Filter Finish Protective Primer. I'm going to smoosh this into my face. And under my eyes. But I'm going to focus this mostly in the areas where I have pores, which would be around my nose and on my nose. For foundation today, I'm taking the Body Shop Fresh Nude Foundation. This is an Atlas Dunes number 045. Now remember that Bangali makeup is very natural looking. There isn't much going on per se. It isn't so much about contouring or highlighting. So I'm going to keep the layers very light. But since we don't want the makeup to look flat, we're going to be contouring and highlighting, but ever so slightly. Apart from that, we're going to keep the layers pretty light. This foundation is quite dewy. Since my body is so much lighter than my face, I always have some trouble with the foundations looking weird. So I always consider my neckline and I go down my neck, but just till the areas that are exposed. I took my Pune Store sponge and I'm just blending all of this out. For concealer, I'm going in with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Creamy Beige. I'm taking some on my hand right there. With my finger. Just putting some under my eye. And on my eyelid. Since this makeup isn't so much about highlighting and contouring, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it in a very subtle way. Next, I'm going to take the Laura Mercier. As always, take some on my hand right there. From my hand, I'll take some, put some on my sponge, and set my under eyes very quickly. and also set my eyelid. Set around my mouth, my smile line area, my forehead. I'm not highlighting my nose today at all. So basically what I did was I set all of the areas that I would crease first. The first place that I crease would be under my eyes. So I took a lot of powder and I caked it on there. I took a lot of powder and set my smile lines and around my mouth. And then after that, I set my forehead with quite a bit of powder on my sponge, because makeup wears off from the forehead and the nose and around the mouth the quickest. Then I'll just take a powder brush and I'll take some of the powder, but this time I'm going in with very little. And I'm going to set all of the areas that I did not set with my beauty blender. If your foundation is a good color match for you, then you don't have to be alarmed if your face looks a little white in the beginning, because as the day progresses, your makeup is going to wear and sit on your skin. Some of your oils are going to seep through, and after that you're going to have a beautiful finish. The foundation also tends to oxidize a bit on your skin, so do not let any of this alarm you. Next, I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette and I'm going to dip into these 3 shades. Tap, and in circular motions, I'm just going to bronze. I'm going to go up to my forehead and in circular motions again, I'm just going to bronze and take all of that into my hairline. I'm going to go back in with some more bronzer, put some on the brush, tap and go under my jawline and chisel. Then I'm just going to take my brush, pinch it, and with whatever's left on my brush, I'm just going to go down the sides of my nose and right here. Can you see how slowly we're bringing color back into the skin? Next, I'm just going to go in with some blush, and for blush, I'm using my Makeup Revolution Ultra Blush Palette in Sugar and Spice. I'm going to go into all of the colors except for the 2 highlighting shades right here. And I'm just going to mix and swirl my brush in all of the colors and then tap. If you want to make your face look a little smaller and more chiseled and more angular, then you take your blush and you go up that way. But if you want your face to look a little bigger, then focus your blush right here. If you feel like you've gone in with a bit too much brush, you can always take your powder brush with no additional product. Just go over all of it. That way you'll also be able to marry your blush and your contour together. And you can get rid of some of the excess. You can also take your beauty blender, which has some foundation on it, and just go over. And you'll be left with a very muted looking blush. Bangali makeup is all about looking very, very matte. So highlighter doesn't really come into the picture, but we're going to go in with just a little bit. So for highlighter, I'm taking my Sof X Revolution highlighter palette, taking some of the golds in the palette, going into some of them, tapping just a smidge. Cupid's bow, point on my nose, cheeks. I'm gonna take an angled brush and some brow pomade. Just a little. Take the excess, wipe it off on my hand. Draw a line at the bottom, draw a line at the top, and then just fill in. Bangali beauty is very much about a bold brow. So if you want to go a little heavy with this step, please do. At the starting of my brow, what I do is I just take my brush and I just flick it upwards with very light pressure. You're going to use feathering strokes. You're not going to dig very hard. So as you can see, I'm just feathering, light, gentle, soft strokes with hardly any pressure. Keep going and you'll get there. I'm going to stop right there, but if you feel like you've gone overboard with your brows, take your beauty blender and just tap over. You can take some powder as well and tap over, and you should be good. So the next very important step is kohl. So you can call it kajal. So in Bangla we call it kajol. And generally Bengali women will take their kajol and they will go up and at the bottom and line their eyes and sort of flick it upwards. So it's always this winged line, but it's quite short and stubby and very thick. But it has been years since I've worn kajal. In fact, I don't even have kajal, do I? No, I don't. I don't think I have kajal. And I have something called lazy eye. So I have been recommended not to use so much makeup under my eyes. So I'm going to skip that step. If you have lazy eye like me and you've been recommended by doctors not to put kajal underneath your eyes, don't worry, I have you sorted. Apart from that, it doesn't have to be kajal. It could be liquid liner as long as it is black and it is matte. The job's going to get done. So I'm going to take my Essence eyeliner. I feature this video after video because I like it so much. Now instead of being very dainty, what you're going to do is you're going to start thin. It's impossible for me to talk and do this at the same time. But yeah, I have small eyes, but I have a lot of lid space. Right? If you don't use kajal underneath your eyes, you can cheat the look of really, really big eyes. Compare this face to my finished face and you'll know what I'm talking about. When you put kajal underneath your eyes, you are closing your eyes off, right? Because you are bordering it. It is allowing the viewer to realize that, okay, this is where the eye starts, this is where the eye stops. So this is the size of the eye. Whereas if you don't use kajal or anything under your eyes, you're actually going to cheat a more opened, bigger eye. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to talk through this. I'm going to start really thin and then I'm going to start building thickness. Once I build thickness, I'll go from eye to eye and then try to match them up. I'm not worried about the wings right now. I'm just trying to get the shape down. So I'll go a little thinner in my inner corner, and as I go to the middle of my eye, I'm going to start making the kajal a little thicker. The more you hesitate, the more mistakes you're going to make. So when you're doing your liner, just think bold, just make those strokes. You can fix it later. Now it's just a question of matching the two up. It's a good idea to wait for that to dry before drawing your little tiny baby wings. Now that that's somewhat dry, I'm going to go in with my wings. And for my wings, what I'm going to do is, let me come a little closer. I'm just going to take the liner and just flick just a little bit. And then instead of drawing a sharp line, I'm going to draw like a wavy line. You see what I did right there? Now this is absolutely perfect. This is what I'm going for. As you can see, they're little baby puchku wings, but they're quite fat and stubby, and instead of going straight like that, it's like that. It's like an S-shaped wing. For mascara, I'll go in with my Essence Super Curl Volume Mascara. For lashes, I'm going in with my PAC Silk 201 lashes, and I'm taking my PAC Lash Fixer Lash Adhesive. Look, I have something new to show you guys. This is one of those lash tweezer thingies that also come in handy when you're doing your nails. Lastly, we have to go in with some red lipstick, lal lipstick. যদি তোমরা লাল পাড় শাড়ি পরছো তাহলে লাল লিপস্টিকটা চাই। অষ্টমীর দিন লাল পাড় শাড়ি পরছো, লাল লিপস্টিকটা প্লিজ কিনে রেখো। এই লিপস্টিকটার বেশি দাম নয়, বোধহয় 100 টাকার মধ্যে। ওকে, what did I just say? If you're wearing a lal par sari or a red par sari, a red bordered sari, then you should probably pair it up with a red lipstick. And this is a good option because I think this is under 100 bucks. This is by Bella Voste. If you're wearing a lal par shari for Oshtomi, do not forget your lal teep. Basically, a teep is a bindi. It's like a face sticker that we wear on the forehead. Now, if you're wearing a lal par shari, টিপটা ভুলে যেও না। ইনফ্যাক্ট তোমার টিপটা যত বড় হয় তত ভালো। ইনফ্যাক্ট the bigger your bindi, the prettier and more authentically Bangali it looks. Did you see how it completely transformed everything? And I'm channeling Bangali Notun Bow right now. Okay, it's time for me to wear my shari. আমার চুলটা একটু ঠিক করে ফেরত আসছি।
সত্যি মনে রে আমার মনে কাউকে মনে নেই